Good morning. It's Tuesday, April 14th, and I'm here with your bell ringer answer from Monday. You had a question that talked about the difference between local indigenous cultures and global cultures. I notice they do not use popular and folk in this particular question. It's because they're trying to focus on the where element. We're hoping that you understand that global cultures are the things that are popular, practiced, or done in multiple regions, multiple places in the world, versus local and indigenous cultures. Those are region-specific, things that are happening in a specific community, a specific village, that are not diffused widely. Diffusion would be a good term to have here. Definitely anything that would demonstrate that you understand multiple regions are part of the answer. How would you define a global culture? Well, you would define that as something that is occurring in multiple regions, oftentimes attached to things like major media. When we use the term broadcasting, that means it's going to reach a large number of people. How would you define local or indigenous cultures? These would be region-specific, oftentimes isolated groups, villages in sub-Saharan Africa, villages in the Amazon River Basin, even small communities down in a holler in West Virginia who maybe are just very geographically isolated, do not have high-speed internet access, don't have cable, must rely on satellite, so they're way more likely to adhere to more traditional region-specific practices because they're less connected to some sort of global cultural network. What are the inherent differences between the two types of cultures? Local cultures or folk cultures, indigenous cultures, they tend to be much more specialized and much more meaningful. Things that have a lot of history and presence and help to create a landscape that has place to it, versus, say, global culture, which is much more connected to a larger number of people, but the connections are not necessarily as meaningful. People aren't necessarily emotionally moved by things, and it's definitely a landscape that's more likely to experience placelessness, meaning a lack of unique characteristic. Instead, it's more likely to be a little generic, a little mundane. Global culture doesn't change from place to place and from time to time, so we all end up with the same Starbucks everywhere, regardless of whether you're Midwestern or if you're in California. McDonald's looks the same everywhere. Walmart looks the same everywhere, versus, say, the Pennsylvania Dutch, who are extremely unique, and their lifestyle is so very different than everybody else because they're a very localized culture. Okay. Well, I hope that helps you out with understanding that particular question. Remember that this is a geography class, so anytime you deal with a concept like culture, it's going to be a where type question. Not asking you to explain all the ins and outs of the cultural practice, but explaining where it came from, where it's practiced, how it's being used. Always, always, always focus on the where element. So this morning, Tuesday morning, your AP classroom assignment will open up. It needs to be completed by Friday at 9 p.m. I'm just about finished with all the FRQs from the last time around, so please make sure that you go in and review the comments that I've made, and that you check out the video I posted yesterday with what the FRQ answer should look like. All right, have a good day. Stay safe.